Okay, section 5.4 continued with parallel, perpendicular, and horizontal and vertical all being mixed up here. So first of all, let's refresh your memory of this. You might want to pause it and go back through this. I'm not going to say it again, but those are all the things that we need to know. And we're going to now get into example number 25. And so example number 25, we have parallel to a y equals line. Well, a y equals line, right? This is a line that goes like this. It's a horizontal line. And parallel, therefore, would be another horizontal line. So we're looking for another y equals line. And if we're looking for a y equals line, we have to know the y coordinate here to tell us that y equals, and it's negative 1/4. And that's all we need to know from that one. Moving on to the part B here. Part B, we have perpendicular to a y equals line. So here's a y equals line. Well, perpendicular to a y equals line is this type of line. This type of line is an x equals line. When we have an x equals line, we have to know the x coordinate here. So that's going to tell us that our equation looks like x is equal to 7. And that's how we'll find the equation of that line. Now moving on to our part C and our part D, the next thing that we have is we have with a slope of 0 through to negative 127. Well, this, of course, tells us that we have a horizontal line. And horizontal lines tell us that we have a y equals line. And a y equals line tells us that we need to have the y coordinate of the ordered pair. So our equation looks like y equals negative 178, and we're all finished with that. And then our next problem, we say it must be through 1 5/8, comma 0, with an undefined slope. Well, undefined slope tells us that we have to have a vertical line. And a vertical line says that we have to have an x equals line. And what does x equal? Well, it equals the x coordinate of the ordered pair. So x equals 1 5/8. And if you rather write that as an improper 8 times 1 plus 5 or 13/8, that's okay too. But this is perfectly acceptable. So those are special sets of circumstances. And now I'm going to leave this page for you guys to look at and work on. I'm going to reduce it down just a little bit so hopefully you can see it. And these are the problems that I want you to try to do on your own. So let me go ahead and blow it back up. Maybe you can write down the first few here, pause it, write them down, and then unpause and write down the next few there, and then take those away and solve them, and then come back. There are only a couple of problems here that I think that you should have too much difficulty with. These are mostly focusing on the special circumstances that tend to give us more fits than others, and focusing our attention on the point slope form. We really should have slope intercept form down. So why don't you go ahead, practice those, and then you can come back to this video and check a few of them, and then I'll continue on with checking those in the next one as well. Okay, so we'll do a couple here really quickly before we run out of time. If we want parallel to a y equals line, that's another y equals line. And so parallel to a y equals line is a y equals line, and that y equals whatever the y equals there. So we get y is equal to a -2, and that's our equation. Our second one down here, we have perpendicular to x equals. So here's an x equals line, and perpendicular to it, therefore, would be a y equals line. And y equals whatever the y equals here, so y equals 111 is our equation. And that's all we need on that one. The next one, we have perpendicular to this line and through this point. This is our first difficult one of this time. So next time you're going to see me solve this for y to put it in slope intercept form.